Hello and welcome to the next episode of Advanced Blueprints tutorial. In this episode we'll be using a first-person perspective sort and shield animation pack that is given for free at January update on Unreal Store Marketplace. I cannot add the pack directly to the download package because it's free only for the month, not forever free. So remember to download it yourself. But there's not much work beside that than downloading our repository and adding the animation package by migrating it. What we're going to do, we're going to change our animation graph into being an overlay animation graph, which means that it can be blended on top of any other animation pose that we have in store. Then we'll be working on different blending based on our view if we are viewing from third-person perspective or first-person perspective. Remembering that third-person perspective is the dedicated view that our multiplayer other players, companions will see. We'll be doing some small IK corrections to the way that animations blend and look without editing animations itself. And we'll make the entire graph being driven by gameplay tags instead of states that are variables. Instead of having a variety of different boolean and float variables, we'll be just changing our gameplay tags. So let's jump in. Part 1. We'll be setting up the animations themselves and testing them in single-player environment. First of all, I just imported this package, which is called, well, where is it? Oh yeah, it's called FP Sort and Shield, and it has a map. In this demo map, there is a character, and let's see how it is set up. I haven't checked it yet. I bought different assets from this creator, and the general quality of animations and overall everything is really nice. Okay, input action attack doesn't exist, so let's make it left mouse button, because this is attack, I guess. Okay. Press X, okay. Block, this is right mouse button. We don't have those inputs. Sprinting will be left shift. Just hard code all those inputs to test how this reacts. Sheet was, I guess, F. Yeah, it was F. And okay, it is just toggling this value. Makes sense. We already have those and they work fine, so let's compile, and it compiled. Okay, so let's test it. Oh, definitely not on multiplayer because this is how we look like. Let's test this on single player because it's not designed to work on multiplayer. What we are doing will work on multiplayer, however. Okay, so let's test it. Let's hit F. Okay, I'm drawing the weapon. There is no IK on movement, so I guess the weapon mesh, the hands mesh is stick to the camera like in first person example. So the entire mesh is rotating, which kind of sucks. Okay, we are running the same movement animation in all directions, so it doesn't look different if you go forward, backward, left or right. Doesn't matter, really, I can see. What else? If we hold attack, oh nice, then we do this attack. If we are not moving, we're doing up attack, forward, backward. Okay, that's nice. And we can blend those attacks together, but if we stand in one place, he will just continue single attack. Okay, that's one way to do it. Block. Okay, we got block. X, simulate taking a hit. Let's see. Okay, so this is hit reaction. And if we block, can I attack? Yeah, I can attack. Okay. And the jump. Oh, there's a jump animation. Nice. Blocking. Also a jump animation. Nice. Attacking. Probably not. Oh, I cannot attack and jump at the same time. Okay, and sprinting. Okay, it got a different animation, but it also sprints in all directions in the same way. It doesn't change. And it's not based on velocity, so I can walk very slow and will continue to sprint. So this is how it works out of the box, and what we could do, we could just adjust this animation. Yeah, this is something we'll do for start. So how is it set up? So this is the mesh, it's empty, then we got the camera. Okay, and the camera is using pound rotation, of course. This is using the yaw, okay, and this is the actual hands. Those are the hands. So let's go into, oh, and let's go into hands, and let's see if we got some special, yeah, we got a grip point, shield socket, it's on IK, and sword socket. Okay, that's great that it's on IK. That actually works a lot better. So let's copy those sockets. And what is this? This is hand R, grip point, shield socket, sword socket. I mean, are we at any point doing some attachments of those? I don't think so. Find reference. Oh, okay. We are attaching to sword socket, and this we are attaching to shield socket. And that's it. Okay, so we'll copy those two sockets. I see we don't need this grip point, whatever this is. Let's copy those. Let's go into our AGR, character, mannequin, mesh, and skeleton, which is the only true skeleton that we need. Click anywhere, even on the root, paste, and we got our sword socket on the, okay, yeah, okay, on the IK hand gun, and shield socket is on the IK hand left. Is it the same? Yeah. So this is on the gun, which makes sense, and this is on the left hand. Okay. So first thing we will do, we'll make a new character, because this setup is just all, I don't know why it's done like this, honestly. I mean, walk speed, because this is for sprinting. Okay, this is for blocking. Okay, so we copied those sockets. We can now make a new character, and we can make entire new setup for the example. So let's go here into example. Let's go into map. Let's go here, maps, demo map, copy it, and we'll call it FPP underscore melee combat. Okay, and let's open it up. Now here we'll go into examples, gameplay, and we're gonna make a new folder which we'll call FPP melee, and we're going to make a new game mode, which can be game mode based actually. So we'll just call it melee combat game mode, and we'll set it up as default here. And inside melee combat we also need a new blueprint class, which is a character, and we'll call it just BP melee combat character, and we'll put it as default. Okay, and now player controller will be obviously AGR player controller, and that's everything we need to set up in here. Save it, actually save everything, and now go into this character, and we'll be working with this character a bit. So first of all, inside event graph, we're going to make a new graph which we will call inputs, And because we are lazy, we're just going to go into gameplay and then into third person, and we'll go into third person character, and we'll go into event graph, and we'll copy all those basics. We don't need touch input, and we don't need reset VR, we just need all this. So we'll cut it out. Okay, go here, put it in, and oh no, not cut it out, wait. Yeah, what we want is actually copy it, not cut it. Yeah, here, now delete this, control rotation, let's make those two variables. Usually I wouldn't use those, I would just inside the player controller you have yaw scale, so you can just set yaw scale, and you have also pitch scale. So instead of having those two variables, you can just read those variables, and I mean, you don't have to even read any variables, it will just work, but let's just keep it like this. And definitely it's not 0, let's set it as it was here, so 45 and 45. 45 as default. Or you know what, let's just remove those pins. I don't want those variables here. Let's do it the right way. Okay, so no new variables, this is just basic input setup, and this is just basic jump, so anything that any character has. Let's go into viewport, we have nothing. Let's set up here, we want AGR mannequin. Oh no, not here, skeletal mesh, AGR mannequin, thank you. And we'll go -88 because the capsule half size is 88, so this is 0 out. Mannequin location -90, so it's as should be. Anim class will be AGR core, obviously, but not the Countess version, but just this one, core anim BP. Okay, compile, and we need AGR animation master component, and on our begin play, or you know what, actually on possess event. So when on multiplayer, sometimes there is a time dilatation between the spawning of the character itself and the controller. So when the character spawns, it doesn't have a controller yet, or we might assign it by hand in our game mode. So let's just use event possess. So once it's possessed, I want to do setup, aim offset, and do setup, base pose, setup, overlay, setup rotation. Yeah, I want to set up IK scaling as well, and set up first person. Okay. Okay, let's connect all of those. Actually, we might want to do more things, so we'll make a sequence on possessed, and this will be setup animations, or even init animation master component, and we'll make it a custom event. Setup init animations. Okay. And because possessed event happens on the server, we want this to run on owning client and it's being reliable. Init animations, okay. So once the server spawns the character and it gives us a controller, it will go and say, hey, do all that stuff. And I think that possessing automatically sets ownership of this character, so I don't have to verify and I don't have to by hand set owner to this controller. I don't think I need to do that, but we'll see. If everything works, I shouldn't have to. Okay, so this happens, and now rotation type, it will be turn, and I will be rotation, the Z rotation at angle. Rotation speed will be, let's say, 280. Turn angle will be typical 90. Tolerance will be very small, let's say 3 degrees. Aim offset tag, I want the character to aim at. Or you know what? I want it to look at the initiation. And it's not camera based aim. Aim offset speed can be 6, that's fine. Aim offset clamp value, it can be 135 because we're still turning earlier, doesn't matter. And aim clamp will be nearest. Because we don't have a, no, we have a dead zone, so let's make it left. Okay. IK scale, it will be 1 and 1. We're not moving this. Base pose, we got those nice cobalt base poses, but I want to be able to, I won't be able to share all of it, but I want to be able to share as much as it as I can, so I will be using some free animations. So let's start with mocap basic as our base pose, and overlay will be our overlay. We need to make a new overlay. So we're going to our AGR, data, animation tags, and where we have overlays, we'll just copy, duplicate any of them, and we'll call it sword and shield. January free sword and shield pack. Okay. So we got an overlay now, and we can, I can close this one. And we can now set this overlay to sword and shield. This is base, overlay, and here it is. Okay. And we want to set up first person as true. Okay, and now on our AGR animation, we need to add event on FPP change. And we need to add a camera, which will be just, do we need? No, we don't need a camera boon. We'll just add a camera, and this camera will have a 77 field of view, and it uses pound control rotation, which is absolute. We don't need any lag on it or anything like that. And we go into our character, and we do not want to use control rotation yaw. However, once we change into first person, and this is being called okay, find reference. So where we are calling it, we are calling it where we use this event. Okay, so we will make a custom event and say it FPP rotation change, and it's also running only on owning client, and it's reliable, and we are changing the oh my god, what was it? It's the use control rotation yaw. Okay, so this way, we can do it like this, and here FPP rotation change, and we can say yes. Okay, so if we want to add a third person perspective mode, which we might, this will control how our character behaves in first person or not in first person. And oh, you know what, we'll do it other way around. So we'll do it like this, and here we'll be taking this, because this event setup f first person is not replicated. Yeah, it's not replicated at all. So this is the proper way of running it only on the client. So this is running on owning client reliably, so which means that we are not doing this. We're doing switch FPP rotation change and saying yes. But this is already running on owning client. Oh, okay, so F setup first person perspective. Okay, so if it is already on owning client, then we are replicating only what needs to be replicating inside the setup events, and this happens only on the owner. So this gets called only on the owner, so we don't need this at all, and that's it. And this is change FPP rotation mode. And also we are changing the FPP value inside the component, but only locally, so our animation component can utilize this value. Okay, so this is the full setup we need to do for now. And let's add animations. So let's go here. By the way, yeah, I made a typo here. Okay, save everything. So we got this, and now we need to make an overlay. So instead of making an overlay, we're going to go into our ready animations which we are working with right now. So we'll set a new color to something distinguished. And go into blueprints. Where is it? Animations. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. First of all, character, and we need to delete this as usual and retarget all our animations this way. Yeah, save everything. Okay, and this is replace. Yeah, save everything, and now this HR making arms replace. Okay, and we didn't break our example map thanks to that, and we got rid of basically everything. Now fix up redirection in folder. It will unload from memory any objects that we deleted. Okay, and now we can go back into our folder and we can completely delete the character folder. It will just say that there are some textures and materials that are linked, doesn't matter. Went away, it's fine. Meshes, those are the, okay, shield and sword. Oh yeah, and we can also set, blueprints, first person HUD. We already have a first person HUD, so let's just replace any reference with this one. Okay, save it. Animations, and we should have animation blueprint in here. There it is. Okay, so now it should retarget to our mannequin and our AGR mannequin. So we can see the sword and shield animations with a full mannequin. So if we go and change some of those values, so for example, we go into blocking if is blocking. So let's change is blocking to true, and he switch poses. Okay, nice. And it seems A bit awkward, but it works. And jumping is in air and landed. Okay, it's that bad. Unsheet sheet. Okay. So we could use this. Yeah, we're going to do that for our examples. So we'll go into blueprints and in BP, and we'll delete it later. But let's make a copy for now. And inside this copy, we'll rename it. It will be called melee combat temporary. We are trying to set all those variables. Oh my god. Sheeted. Sprinting, blocking, attacking. Okay. What we'll do, we'll go into our AGR data, and we'll go into combat tags. And we got all those tags that we made, and many of them we didn't use. So we got combat modifiers, sprinting, but we'll make it different. We'll make it ability, common, sprinting. And we'll make a copy of it and make it ability, common, block. And we'll make a duplicate and make it ability, common, attack. Yeah, let's just make it attack. And we can also make attack fast. So now, if we do it like this, we got 4 ability states. Let's see if we need more of those. Sprinting, blocking, attacking. Directions will be done differently. And shield hit. Okay, we're going to make okay, combat modifier got hit. Duplicate, combat modifier got hit. Okay, and now we got a bunch of gameplay tags that we can use for our animations. So what we'll do, instead of doing all this and this, okay, set is moving, set is in air, that can be fine. But instead of casting to first person character, will be get component by class. And our component will be AGR animation master. And from our animation master, we'll be taking tags, which is modification tags. And we'll also be taking get component by class and call on our combat component that we don't have currently, but it doesn't matter really. And also get combat modification tags. And now we will make a new variable called tags and make it gameplay tag container. Okay, and we will set tags to nothing, and then we will append gameplay tag container by reference, and yeah, and then do it again and again by reference. So in order to make it, not broken, I will move everything down and do it like this. Valid. So if sequence. So if our animation component is valid, we are getting our tags and we are saving those tags. Then if our combat component is valid. If it is valid, we're appending those tags as well. Okay, so that's the second one. And this goes here. And then when we completed the tags, then we can go forward with the execution. And what we can do, we can get tags and say has tag exact match. Oh, weapon ready. We're gonna make that one as well. So it will be combat modifier basically. Unarmed, let's call it. We don't have one like this. No, we don't. So duplicate and make it combat modifier unarmed, and let's make no weapons hold. And we can also make another duplicate which is saying armed. Weapon ready. Okay, and now we can read tag, which would be called combat modifier armed or unarmed. So this is sheeted true, so unarmed is unarmed true. Thank you. And we don't need any of this because we're not reading direct values, we're reading gameplay tags. Okay, and we can now copy this and say, does it have ability common sprinting? If yes, then it's sprinting. Does it have ability common block? Well, then it's blocking. Does it have attack? And we're not distinguishing fast and slow attacks. And we'll see how that works in the animation graph, and we'll figure something out. And attacking left, right, forward, backward. Okay. Direction. So we need to calculate direction in order to do this. And shield hit will be combat modifier got hit. And this exact match means that if we, for example, mark not combat modifier got hit, but combat modifier, and that's it, any tag that is below this would init this as true. So it doesn't matter which one. So for example, we could have a combat modifier debuff, and all debuffs could trigger wounded animation pose. It doesn't matter if we are bleeding, crippled, or anything other, right? Stunned, sunder, whatever. We would have certain animation that initiates on multiple possible states. And it's giving true if you hit at least one of those tags. But we want to use exact match, and we want to exactly match not this one, because this would mean that anything underneath works, but we want got hit, and we want exact match, because if we don't mark exact match, combat matches true, combat.modifier matches true, but if it's exact match, only combat.modifier that got hit matches true. So this is how gameplay tags works. And now for those, okay, we have to calculate direction and try get pound owner, and velocity. We're just getting actor's velocity, it's the same as movement component velocity, and we're getting actor rotation. Get actor rotation, and it's here, and we are calculating direction. And now in range Yeah, so if it is in range minus 45 to 45, then it is forward. If it is in range of minus 135 to minus 45. Is that right? This is 90 degrees. Yeah, so this is minus, which is left. Okay, and if we do the same but not minus, make it positive values, then it is right. But right now we can have two attacks that are the same because we are inclusive min and max everywhere. So if we include this in forward, which we don't want, then we can include it in here. And if okay, wait, we can just make a nor. Oh, okay, it will be easier if I do an or. So if this is false, make a not, and this is true. So if or means that any of this is true. So if none of it is true, so it's a nor, but nor operator doesn't accept additional points for some reason. I can't add more like you can add on or. So this is a nor. So if we are not attacking left, right, or forward, we are attacking backward. However, we need to make one more thing. We have to get velocity. No, or we have to get. Do we have idle at all? Is there idle somewhere? Okay, it's moving. It's moving not. So if we are not moving, so we are standing still, it means we are attacking forward, and we need to fit this here instead of this one. Okay. Okay. Do I need anything else? No, we're setting up everything right now. Okay. So those gameplay tags, they will be driving basically everything. So right now you can see everything is being set to false because we don't have any gameplay tags, and this is as designed. Everything is fine. So now we'll have to change some of those tags. So we'll go into our, let's go back into our anim graph, and this is our state machine, slot arms. We don't have a slot arms, but it doesn't matter because there are no animation montages of whatsoever here, honestly. But we can also add input pose and make it an overlay thanks to that. And now we have to blend by blend bone, layer blend per bone, and our layer, no, wait, remove. Okay, let's define our layer. Our layer is spine 0, 1, depth is 3, and it's mesh space rotation. So we will blend up to spine 3. Okay, make it an output pose. But we also need to blend our IK bones. So we need IK hand root. And we need blend depth of 0 or 1. It's the same. So a perfect blend. So we're blending our first person stuff on top. However, we need to also rotate root bone because those are first person animations, so they are all tilted 90 degrees because they were worked on. Just never mind, just do this. Okay, no, 90, not minus 90, my bad. Okay, yeah, so now you have just an A pose, and this animation is being blended on top of it, with spine being eased in into spine 03 from spine 01. So it will take some of the base pose and then move towards this pose. Okay. And let's go into our combat. Let's get our melee combat character and let's work on him a bit more. And let's rename this melee combat temporary. Let's call it melee temporary underscore overlay anim BP. Okay. And let's go here, anim graph, go here, core, and we need this overlay to be set up in our overlays. So let's make a new one, add state, call it FPP combat, sword and shield. Sword and shield. And sword and shield requires our overlay tag. Overlay pose and call it equals and now overlay sword and shield. Okay, call it here, call it back, not. Okay. And we got this sword and shield. Now we need to do a linked anim graph, sword and FP. How did we call it? We call it something stupid. Melee temporary. Yeah, let's call it different. And shield. Okay. Sword and shield overlay. And here we do base, post, save, catch pose. Now we can expose a lot of those variables, but we don't need to do any of that. Yeah, pretty much we don't have to do anything like that because we are already in our event graph doing tags somewhere along here, I think here. This is the combat tags and this is the animation tags somewhere around here as well. Yeah, okay, so we're already doing that. We can go, oh, I have so many of those open. Okay, so here, sword and shield, we don't need to expose anything. Okay, save it. And let's go here, and you know what, we'll actually add a third person camera. And we'll just add a component and do a camera, spring arm. And this spring arm will have everything default, honestly. Oh, and this need to be on head, by the way. Thank you. It's taking control. Yeah, so it doesn't matter how does it look like. And spring arm, and on back of the spring arm there will be a camera. And this is TP camera, and this is FP camera, and spring arm will have socket offset of 55, 65, and it is using control rotation, and it's child of capsule, not of actor, so it's here. And TP camera is not auto-activated. This is not auto-activated. Let's say that third person camera is activated. Okay, let's go into event graph, and here also we will get FP camera and TP camera active and active. No. So basically, if first person, then this is active. If first person, then this is not active, and we reset both of them. And that's it. And we'll also add a C keyboard, C like camera, and we will we'll just take our animation component and we'll go set up first person, and we'll make a new function, and we'll you know what, no, we don't need any new function because we already managed that first person. We already have a function is first person, so we are just toggling, and toggling is just denying whatever the value we have. And okay, and let's see how many things we messed up. Oh, also inside the mesh itself we need to do one more thing about custom collision projectiles. Yes, should I yes, okay, yes, yes. So this is mesh, so it's fine. It actually should ignore oh yeah, always tick pose. We need to change to always tick pose and refresh bones. If we don't do that on dedicated server, the pose of the character will not change at all. So a lot of things will break. For example, the entire combat. What else? Capsule component. Let's check its collision. Let's make it custom, and we are ignoring, and we are ignoring camera, by the way, here as well. We are ignoring camera and visibility. And here we are ignoring visibility and camera. Everything is fine. And we are blocking everything else, and we're ignoring food IK and projectiles. Query. Okay, yeah, everything is fine. So let's test it. Okay, let's hit C. And we are a bit stiff. Oh, we are not strafe walking at all. Oh, it's probably because the animations are not done to support strafe walking. So let's change the base pose for something that will. Let's go back here and let's change our base pose, which is here, from mocap basic, which is directional, to starter, animation starter pack. Animation starter pack is not the best animation pack, but it supports strafing at least, and all directions of movement. And you can see that the spine is bending, except for the spine tree, which is trying to uphold what we aimed for. And we can actually adjust one more thing and say that our look at is not look at, but it's actually aim at. And now we go back. Okay. And we are aiming with our sort and shield. So let's actually add the sort and shield. So let's go into our character. Let's go back here. Go into here, meshes, and we have this sort. So let's add this component and call it sort. And we don't need to attach it in construction script like it was done, because we can just call it on the sort socket. Okay. And we can add another mesh, which is the shield. And I'm pretty sure that something will be messed up when it comes down to IK. But we're gonna know in a moment. Shield. And shield is attached to shield socket. Okay. Okay. And we got them. We can see that we got them. And they are not... Oh, yeah. Because IK bones are not... okay, we're gonna have to do it a little bit differently. It looks almost okay. Okay, but if our socket is on the IK handgun, so absolutely properly done, it means we can use our virtual bone weapon mount for our sword, and this should work with our virtual bone. Let's see. Oh yeah, sword is now attached properly to the hand, and it's moving with the hand as should, but the shield doesn't, because we don't have, and yeah, it works great, because we don't have a virtual bone for that, but we'll add one right now. So let's go into our mesh. It will be super easy. We'll go to our skeleton, and what we need is from hand L to add a virtual bone to hand L, IK hand L. How do we call it? Virtual bone second item, for example. Okay. Save it. And now, instead of doing that, we go into our shield and we connect it to VB second item. And now, because I think the sockets, they are without any transform, let's make sure that they are actually where the hands are. This is the shield. Oh no, this one will be transformed. This one is not. So it is pretty much exactly where it was. And this one will require small transform. So basically this. So I will copy this relative location, and now I will run it to show you what's wrong. So now the shield is properly connected, but it's at bad rotation and at bad location. It's at the wrist, not at the fist itself. So it's not connected properly. So how we can do that? Because we know the socket transformation in relation to its parent, so it's relative location and rotation, we can go into our linked anim graph, which is sort and shield. Inside here we can do and modify bone. No, we can do it like this. Modify bone. And we can go. And now I'm wondering. Yeah, I have to do it right here before the blend. Not after, because after the blend we already are blending our virtual bones, so any virtual bones manipulation needs to be done here. So we're taking this and we're going into VB second item, and we're doing add to existing, expose, expose. We don't need to expose because we are ignoring scale, and now in translation we will paste. Come on, paste. Of course I can't. Why? Okay, don't expose. Here I can paste. Yes, good. Go back here. Copy, relative rotation. Go back here. And also don't expose this and paste. I think that should be enough. And let's see. Oh, something broke. Okay, so this is because of the transition of the spacing, because this is parent bone space and we are looking at component space, so we have to change that. Can we? Oh yeah, component space. Awesome. Bone space? Bone space? Maybe? And let's see if bone space fixed it. I think this is exactly how it was held. So he's holding now exactly in his fist as he should, and looks in first person exactly as it did. And it's, you can see that it's still running everything. We are not feeding any tags, but we can move and jump, and we can move and jump in third person. And just to show you how cool this can work with better animation quality, so let's go into our base pose for a second and let's set up Pistol Pro. So let's change that. Let's go into our anim graph, and inside our anim graph, what we will do, we'll make something different. Blend by bool. It can be like 0.25, 0.25, doesn't really matter. Promote a variable FPP view, and this one is exposed. So if it is false, we're doing this blend, but if it is true, we're doing something else. So let's save a pose, and it's called input saved pose. Okay. Now we have this entire thing, and we will call it save cache pose, and we'll call it saved locomotion pose. And now we'll have input pose, no, saved input pose and saved locomotion. And we need more than one because we'll be using them more than once. Locomotion saved pose. Okay. So this doesn't change anything, right? This is the first person view, but for third person view, we're doing the same thing exactly with one difference. Not 3, but 7. Compile, save. Oh, and maybe connect that as well. And that's it. And now we go into our core graph, and we just have to expose this FP flag and feed it. So is FPP view, just set it like this. And let's go here. And now his back is not so stiff, and he's a bit more following the pose that he is being gave by the the base pose, and looks a lot better thanks to that. And if you go into first person, he's switching back. You can see this small transition. Okay, so let's make this guy attack. How to make him attack? We can go into our character. And now go into our inputs. And those are our base inputs. And we'll add a new one. Right mouse button and left mouse button. And left mouse button. And now we'll do something that will work only on single player. So we'll take our animation master component. We will get a tag container. And we need modification tags. And we will add gameplay tag. And we will remove gameplay tag. And the container is managing it automatically. And for right mouse button, it will be common block and common block. And for the left mouse button, we'll be doing the same thing from the same container. So we can just set it up like this. And it will be not block, but it will be attack and attack. Okay, and let's see what will happen. Now we can attack. We can see us in third person doing those wonky attacks. And we are reading almost right the values, because we're reading left, we're reading forward properly. We're reading backward properly, but we're not reading right. Why aren't we reading right? Let's go and see. So in our event graph, here. Okay, so this is attacking. Left is minus 45. Okay, yeah. We need to swap them. It's 45, 135. The min max, it's not any range. This value has to be lower than this value. Simple as that. So also this value is lower than this value. That's why it didn't work. Now it should. Let's see. Oh, come on. Left attacks work. Jumping, landing works. Forward attacks work. Backward attack work. And can I hold attack? Yes, I can. Can I hold attack? Yes, I can. Okay. But right attack still doesn't work. Why is that? It might be... Well, it's plus 90. Oh, okay. Yeah, if we don't feed value, then we cannot test value. That's quite obvious. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and blocking. Yeah, I can block. I can block an attack. So look at that. With gameplay tags, we managed to do all this, and it works in third person. And I think we've done one more thing wrong in the anim graph. Let's see. So true is plant 7, IK 0. And what if we swap it? Because I think it looks... Yeah, that looks more like the pose that he should have, and this looks more like first person pose that I remember from the demo. Okay. And let's see if we can do other things. So let's do X uh, key, and we'll do the same. But it will be an attack modifier got hit. So we are simulating getting hit. And it also needs attack container. So right now, this will work because we are on single player. Attack and block, simulate hit. Because we are on single player, it will work because we can set this variable and modify it even though it's replicated. But if it was multiplayer, as a client, this would fail because we cannot do it directly like this. We would have to use RPCs. And the RPCs would have certain lag, so we would have to do it a bit different around, but we'll do it in a moment. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so now this is third person view. This is first person view. Let's do sprinting as well. Left shift, and we'll do the same. Oh, you know what? It's too far away. Let's copy it. Let's do it like this. And let's do it again here. Sprint, simulate hit. Okay, fine. Okay. And we will do sprint. Common ability sprinting. Compile save. Okay. And yeah, because we are single player, we can just velocity, no, move speed, walk speed, and we can just set max walk speed, and we can set it to, let's say, 400 and back to 320. Or let's say it 480, so it will be 50% increase. Okay, and let's go here. And we are sprinting. And we are sprinting in third person. Yeah, the left elbow is doing some funky stuff, but we could make some correction to the animations. We are walking. Okay.